Power of One series, and it has infiltrated Focus Friday because for the next 4 weeks, we are going to do business planning instead of Focus Friday, or that's going to be our topic for Focus Friday. It is great to see so many people joining us. I see a ton of offices have joined us with lots of people. So hello, everyone. The whole purpose of today, or of the business planning workshop, is that we want you guys to have 30 minutes of inspiration from our speakers. And then you have another 30 or 60 minutes that you should spend thinking about what it is that we talked about it and how it affects your business or things that you want to implement into your business. And we want you to put that in your workbook or whatever you need of where you're going to put your notes. So does everyone have the workbook? Some heads. Where do you get it? You can go to Change Lives Academy, and then you will go to the upper top part. And on my computer, it says now more. Otherwise, you're going to just go to the Education Center. Then you're going to scroll along down to the bottom. And that's where you can download the workbook. Now, your ACs and your MDs also have a copy. So if they wanted to print some off right now, for those that forgot to bring it, that works for me. Before we get started with our very own Todd Conklin, we need to thank some sponsors. So our sponsors, there we go. We have Land Title Guarantee Company, and they are our Colorado title sponsor. Then we are going to say thank you to Platinum Title. They are our Kansas title sponsor. Then we're going to, there we go, Fairway Independent Mortgage. That is our Kansas mortgage sponsor. And Escrow Professional Company, they are our Iowa closing sponsor. And then finally, the 6th state insurance sponsor is Distinctive Insurance Agency. Make sure that if you have a contact for them, reach out to them, tell them thank you for sponsoring this, not only our business planning, but the whole Power of One More series. So Todd, this is where we bring you in.
This is where we start. All right. Well, I'll let you can stop sharing. One of two things is going to happen today. All right. Number one, I'm never going to make it to 30 minutes. So I apologize. It's going to be longer than that. Number two, I'm either going to offend some people or I'm going to change some lives today. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm coming to you hot. I am breathing fire today. I'm just going to speak to you like adults. See, one of the things that I'm really fired up about right now is that I keep listening to all of these placating people talking about how it's going to be okay, and it's not okay. I had a conversation with Tim Grover 2 weeks ago. He told the story about how he was having a conversation with one of his athletes, and he said, hey, listen, dude, you don't have time. See, like in the athlete space, you don't have time. It's a short period of time to achieve. Right? Like by the time you're 30, 35, you're washed up. But this particular athlete, he had less time. That guy was Kobe Bryant. We don't have time. And so I'm not going to screw around with you guys today. I'm going to ask you to do this. Listen, I know some of you are in the office. Some of you guys are on watch parties. It's going to be a little bit challenging. I'm going to do my best not to throw a bunch of F-bombs, but there are no promises. Okay? Here's my thing. My hope is that you're not going to let my F-bombs get in the way of the message. See, some people get offended by the way the message is being delivered, and they become blind to the message itself. I'm bringing to you fire today. The other thing I need you all to do is to focus. I need your mind, your eyes, your heart. I need you here today. The way that's going to happen is you're going to turn your cameras on. And you're going to unmute yourselves. I don't give a shit if you've got a dog in the background. By the way, I've got a kid home. I thought, hey, this could be perfect. All the kids will be gone. I can be yelling at the top of my lungs in my office, and nobody will hear me. Well, I'm wrong. Okay? I need you all present. Why is that not? There we go. There we go. I'll call you out. If you need me to, I'll call you out. I'm pretty sure nobody showed up here to waste time. Anybody? How about this? Did anybody show up here to waste 30, 40, 50 minutes of their lives? Probably not. Okay. So let's get engaged. Give me your attention. Give me your heart for the next 50 minutes. I love it. Background noise. I love background noise. Did we not learn one thing from COVID? That we all have families, we all have dogs, and we all have like the gardener always shows up right when the Zoom starts. Isn't that funny? And then like, oh my gosh, we're all humans. Isn't that great? Tasha, let's go. Don't make me call you out. I need some amens. Like I'm going to be a preacher today. I need you all egging me on. I need Jimmy going, yeah, hoorah. What? No. Ooh. Is that it? Yeah, okay, that's it. I get it all wrong. So he's got to help me out. So
I know.
that's right. Thank you. I'm all good with the background noise. I need your attention. By the way, there is no multitasking, and I'm sorry, ladies, that means you too. I know that the prevailing wisdom is that women can multitask. It doesn't happen, right? Don't tell my wife; she's for sure going to be mad at me. We have people in our organization here. We have people outside of our organization here. It all applies to you. I need your heart and your focus today. I want to talk to you about the difference between motivation and commitment. That's really the prevailing message here. Listen, I know I've got 2 slides, right? In my entire presentation, there are 2 slides. We're going to get to them, right? You've all heard them before. They're the core foundations. It's faith, it's family, it's fitness, and it's finance. We're going to talk about them. We're going to talk specifically about how they're the core foundation and the North Star, if you will, to your business plan for 2024. And yet there's nobody on this call that doesn't know what to do. Nikki, do you know how to make your husband super happy?
Yes.
Do you do it all the time?
No.
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 No, I love you, but no. Okay. Do you all know how to make $1 million? Does anybody know? Do you really need to know how to generate leads and to nurture leads and to close leads and how to sell real estate? Don't you all know how to do it? Do you know how to get in shape? Do you know how to be a great parent, a great spouse? You know how to build, like, you know how to do all of this stuff. And yet we don't do it. Well, we do most of the time, hopefully, but sometimes we don't. Why? The reason why is because we're living in this land of motivation and we forget motivation is BS. Motivation is an emotion. We only do shit when we're motivated, when we want to do it. See, I'm motivated to go to the gym, and I go to the gym most days. We're going to talk about that here in a second. But guess what? I take days off. I skip them. But I'm committed to protecting my family. And there is nothing that will get in the way of that. On good days, bad days, days that I don't want to, days that I do want to, days when the threat to my family is bigger than I ever thought. It's the David and the Goliath. You will stand up and protect your family no matter what. That's the difference between motivation and commitment. I need committed human beings here today. I'm going to talk real with you. This is real data. Who read the book Who Moved My Cheese? It was actually even mentioned at Gen Blue. Nobody? Nobody?
Mike did.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you, Mike. Yeah. Hopefully you guys are understanding this is a verbal exercise, right? I can't see y'all's faces. Thank you, Nicole. Many of the West Town, thank you. I don't know who Many is, but yeah. I'm teasing. But listen, one of the crazy things about that book was written by a guy by the name of Brian Tracy. It was published, get this, on September 8th of 1998. He talks in that book about how, wait for it, 5% of the population were millionaires. 5%. At the time, I did some research this morning. At the time, there were 270 million people in the United States of America. And so he was saying 5% of those people. But wait a minute. All we hear today is how many millionaires there are. There are millionaires coming out of our ears. And yet I just did the math, and 5.4% of the population are millionaires. Well, the population's what, 340 million? So the population's gone up. I don't know if Brian was rounding or not, but 5.4 is not too far off from 5%. But now wait a minute, that means that 94.6% of us in the United States won't become millionaires. Anybody want to retire?
Yeah.
How about now?
Right. Hey, easy, Kansas. Hey, listen, we all want to retire. Can I do some math with you? Like, hey, listen, I'm going to talk to you like adults, right? I'm just talking about $1 million. $1 million.
No, it doesn't.
What do you think we can get 7% on that? Do you think we could get a 7% return? Yes or no? Somebody want more? Not really. Okay. What do you think that our return should be? 7? Okay, 7%. 7% is going to get us $70,000. By the way, Uncle Sam wants a piece of that. So 70 isn't 70. Maybe it's 50. For those of you that are on this call that are from California or New York, sorry, you're screwed. It's worse than that. But wait a minute. You can't live the life that you want in retirement on $50,000. You can't go see the grandkids and go to Venice and do all of the shit that you said you wanted to do, that you've been delaying because you're working your ass off to generate enough money to retire. So that means you've got to pull money from that $1 million to get down here. Maybe it's $100,000. I don't know what your number is to live in retirement, but every time you pull money, now you're making less of that. You see what's happening here? If you don't have $1 million, folks, you're in trouble. And what that number is saying, what Brian Tracy was saying, and it's still true 25 years later, is that 95% of the population is going to fail to get to $1 million. So I'm going to talk to you today is about the difference between being motivated to get to $1 million and committed. Because oftentimes what happens is we end up listening to all the lies. And by the way, we tell the lies the most, right? Tim Grover, was it Tim? Maybe it was, I don't know. One of them was talking about, hey, listen. Oh, it was Goggins. Goggins said, life begins at truth. Life begins at truth. He wasn't talking about you telling me the truth or me telling you the truth. He was talking about me telling me the truth. He was talking about you telling you the truth. See, until we're willing to look at the truth and acknowledge the fact that, hey, we've got some blind spots, we've got some problems, we've got some opportunities, we've got to do some things differently, we'll never get there. 95%. What that means is that in order for us to be one of the 5%, we got to do shit that 95% of the population won't do. That's committed. That's committed. One of the lies that we tell each other ourselves, right? And listen, this is going to offend some people, and I'm sorry, but I'm right there with you, and I'm going to share with you a little bit about how this applies to me. And so I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. We're all adults, okay? But many of us are believing this bullshit lie. I'm wearing this bracelet. It says, "I am the storm." Have you ever heard that saying? The devil came and whispered in your ear, said, "You cannot withstand the storm," right? And I whispered back, "I am the storm." See, the devil lies to you and I. It comes across as sounding like, well, you know, I am the way I am because that's how I was raised. Bullshit. I'm going to start this off with my story. Okay. Do you know that I used to smoke cigarettes? I used to be a smoker. Now listen to me. Let me tell you how outrageous it is that I was a smoker. My grandmother died of smoking. My dad was a smoker because his mother was a smoker. My dad died at 44 years old from lung cancer. I was 16. Well, I smoke. Well, why do you smoke? Well, because my family smokes. Thank God I had somebody that whooped my ass and told me what an idiot I was. How fucking stupid do you have to be to know that your grandmother died, know that your father died, and yet you still smoke? That's what they said to me. And I'm like, evidently pretty stupid. Okay. But it was the lie I was telling myself. Don't we have that lie everywhere? My wife's lie was her family was big. Everybody in her family was morbidly obese. It just was what it was. She tells story after story after story about how they just built that way, right? She's big boned, they said. It's just the way it is.
Bullshit.
Bullshit, thank you. But listen, it's the same. We tell these lies over and over and over. I'm going to tell you something. I think I'm a pretty badass dad, okay? I think if you were to ask my kids, they would tell you, that dude is my hero. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure that's what they would say. I had 4 dads by the time I was 16 years old. My dad left me when I was a year old. I didn't have role models. That's not true. I did have role models. My role model was abandonment. If I allowed my history to dictate my future, well, I would be the same guy. I would be abandoning my children. The way you operate is not based on your history. I don't care who you are today. It's about who you are tomorrow. It's about where you're going. You know, that it's the whole, like, they're 2 brothers. They grow up in a alcoholic situation, right? And one of them grows up and says, I'm never going to drink. Like, why don't you drink? Well, because I watched what alcohol does to a family. And then the other brother becomes an alcoholic and they say, well, why do you drink? And he says, well, because I grew up in this. That's just part. They're both the same deal. It's a decision. I want you guys to make the decision. I don't want you to be motivated to make the decision. I want you to be committed to make the decision. And again, we're going to talk about how the one area in your life that is keeping you from achieving greatness is the one you don't want to look at. It's the 4 legs of the table. It's the core foundations: faith, family, fitness, and finance. Listen, we all have one of those that we crush. It's just easy for us. I don't want you to look at that one. I want you to look at the one that you've turned a blind eye to, the one that you've been listening to the lies. I want that one. That's the one. It's the one that makes you uncomfortable. That's the one. That's what adults do. That's what coaches do. That's what I'm here for you. Offended or not, I am here to have an impact on your life. It's my committed purpose in life. I hope my kid's not listening in the other room. So we got 4 sessions. You got me today. You're going to have Ken and Tesson. You're going to have Jimmy Klieger, and you're going to have Bill Pipes. Every one of them are animals in their own right. They're going to bring to you a discipline that they're incredible at. I want you to realize, accept, and commit right now to the process, and then to do the work, okay? To do the work. If you go through this 4 sessions, you're going to come out of this thing with an absolute killer business plan that's going to motivate you. You're going to commit to it, to be committed to doing the work, to have an incredible year. Because listen, you guys just heard it the other day. There are agents that are crushing the world right now. Is it you? See, for the last 3 years, I've listened to countless stories about people like, I've been in the business for 20 years. How in the hell is this kid that just got in the business 12 seconds ago doing so well and my business is screwed up? I don't know the answer to the question other than to say, hey, this is tough. This is a wacky market. The market has shifted, and now this is your time. And some of you are sitting back going, I got PTSD from the last 3 years. It's back to the basics, right, Caroline? It's back to the basics. It's making your phone calls. It's doing your open houses. It's doing the things that you know. This, you know, you don't need me to tell you. Kennan's going to walk through, hey, listen, are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you skipping some steps? The secret sauce, the discipline, can be found in your schedule. Jimmy's going to walk through, hey, listen, you need more leads? We got more leads. We're going to show you how to fish. We're not going to give you a fish. We're going to teach you how to fish. Nobody better to do that than Jimmy. And Bill Pipes is going to come and he's going to light you on fire if you let him. He's going to make you so uncomfortable. He's going to have you doing karate poses and pattern interrupts and scripts and dialogues. I know I said the 4 or 5 letter words. Scripts and dialogues. He's going to teach you what to say, how to say, and when to say it. And guess what? It works. And if you're committed, you'll do it. If you're motivated, you're going to get uncomfortable. Listen, we're all uncomfortable. I went to the gym this morning at 5 o'clock in the morning. I didn't want to go to the gym at 5 o'clock this morning. But you know what happened? I went to bed dog tired last night because I was prepping for this, and I woke up hungry. At 3:11 this morning, I woke up going, oh, I'm hungry. Let's go. I couldn't go back to sleep. That's what I want for you, and that's what you'll get out of the 4 sessions. All right, I want to start off with core values. So there are 4 pieces, right? As I look at it, you've got your core values, you've got your physical actions that will change your mindsets to give you the results, okay? Write that down. You've got your core values that take you to your physical actions that will change your mindset that will deliver your results.
One more time, Todd.
You've got your core values that will create your physical actions that will change your mindset that will produce your results. Brendan Burchard, as part of his keynote, sits back and he tells you, he goes, listen, 1,000 of you showed up to this conference. You paid thousands of dollars to be here, not to mention your flights, and you came thousands of miles and your hotels, and you're away from your family. You've got all these things. 1,000 of you showed up to this conference. And I'm going to stand up here and I'm going to share with you the 3 books that changed my life. And 100 of you are going to jump on your phones and you are going to research those books. You're going to be online. You're going to go to Amazon, wherever it is, you're going to go. And you are going to research those books. Interestingly, 50 of you will buy it. And only 10 will read the books. Think about that for a second. The very thing that somebody paid thousands of dollars to go talk to a guy who they believe will coach them to the promised land to achieve their goals, tells them specifically, here are the 3 books that changed my life, and only 1% of them will actually read the books? Is that incredible? Why is that?
Then you have to implement it.
Right. Well, exactly. It's the difference between motivation and commitment. See, people that are committed to changing their lives, they read the fucking book. People that are motivated, they show up and they dilly-dally. It's okay. If that's you, if you're the dilly-dallyer, that's fine. You can, by the way, you're a grown-ass adult and I'm talking to you like one, right? The people that are committed to changing their lives typically have reached a moment where they're like, I can't take this anymore. Ask my dad. Suddenly, the guy that couldn't stop smoking miraculously found the courage to quit smoking.
Mhm.
Too late. Anybody that's had a fracture in a relationship knows it's amazing how lazy we are and how motivated we become when the other person says, I'm out of here. And suddenly, all those things that we wouldn't do and couldn't imagine, and how rude that they would even ask, we have no issue doing that. I'm just talking truth today. So what are you committed to doing? Do you know your values? If you don't have your values, you're done. Like, you're dead in the water. Listen, I'll give you an example, right? Like you don't aim to be honest, do you? Like, you either are honest or you're a liar, right? Can I get an amen? Can somebody give me an amen?
Amen. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you. Right? Well, I'm mostly honest. I'm pretty sure that if I told my wife that I was mostly faithful, I'd be divorced. What do you think? I don't aim to be a good husband. I'm committed to being a good husband. Do you follow what I'm saying? It's my core beliefs. What are your core beliefs? I know mine. We talk about ours as a company. Let's talk about ours as a company. I'll just do that. That way it doesn't make anybody too uncomfortable. But I'm going to ask you, I'm going to challenge you. Write down your core beliefs. What do you stand for? I bleed blue. What does that mean? I'm a team player. There's nobody, by the way, this might actually be an Achilles heel, but there's nobody that believes in you more than me. There is nobody that believes in you more than me. And I mean that. And you might be like, oh, I believe in myself. Bullshit. There are times where you don't believe in you, and I'm the guy that you need to be calling because I believe in you. I'll take the fucking bullet for you. I will push you. I will go back to back with you, shoulder to shoulder. We will go win. I believe in you. I'm a team player. I believe that's my job, is to have an impact on you. I bleed blue. I also believe in extreme ownership, by the way. What that means is that if there's a problem, it's my fault. If there's a solution, it's my fault. And nobody, and I mean nobody, is going to get in my way from success. Do you follow what I'm saying right now? It's extreme ownership. There's no history. There's no DNA test. There's none of this other nonsense that can get in my way. I tell a story about how my mother, my own mother, told me that I was completely and totally off my rocker to think that some high school dropout, could go out and start a company that could end up being multi-state and, like more than 12 agents. My own mother told me I couldn't do it. I'm committed. Yeah, I mean, like, listen, the people that are closest to us, by the way, I love my mother. She didn't do it because she was an asshole. She did it because she wanted to protect me, and I'm sure. Now, I've not asked her, but I'm assuming. But here's the thing. I use that shit. Right? You give me shade. Anybody that has ever given me shade knows, right? And Shawnee's smiling right now, right? Anybody who's ever given me shade knows. I take that shit and I put it in my pocket, don't I? Because I'm a fucking warrior. That's my spirit animal. I don't know what yours is, but that's mine. And so I take that stuff and I put it in my pocket. And I know that when things get tough, I'm going to step up and I'm going to pull that out of my pocket and I'm going to go, I'm going to do it anyway. Professionalism. What does professionalism mean to you? We're humble. We're honest. Some of you right now are going, oh my God, well, he just said the F-bomb like 12 times. That's not professional. You're missing the point. You're missing the point. Grit. We have true grit. What is grit? Gritty. Like, we roll up our sleeves. I'm not afraid to get into the trenches. You ask any of our managers and some of our agents who have dared to call and say, hey, will you help out? I'm in. Put me in. Boy, I'm chomping at the bit. Put me in, please. Aren't you the same way? I can't tell you how many stories I have heard with our agents rolling up their sleeves and getting their hands dirty and getting dirt under their fingernails, doing what's necessary to deliver for their clients. We're gritty. And number 5 is be the good. Be the good. Well, what does the good mean? Well, that means we don't gossip. It means that we care about humanity. It means that we tell people the truth. That we give people the benefit of the doubt. That we give people a hug when they need a hug. That when we have somebody in our organization that is going on a 50-mile, or maybe it was 52-mile hike from rim to rim to rim, that we rally around and we send our love. Or if we have a leader in our organization who has hip surgery, not only do we reach out to him and make sure he's okay, but we reach out to his wife and see how we can support them. That's what it means, folks. We're a family of professionals together, that we're honest enough to have conversations about things that, well, most people won't have. Those are core beliefs. They're the foundation of everything that you'll do. Every decision that you'll make. If you don't have them, then you'll have no compass. And if you have no compass, you have no idea where you're going. So now I want to talk about physical. I got to get some water. I want to talk about physical for a second. Physical. Listen, I had a meeting yesterday. Sorry, Jimmy. I had a meeting yesterday with a Marine. He really good shape Marine, by the way. Jimmy's in very good shape too. But this guy, he and one other person do over $100 million in sales. 2 people, they do over $100 million in sales. And we had a really awesome conversation. We were talking about his days in being a Marine. And I said, I have to be honest with you, to do $100 million, again, he's not working in Telluride where your average sales price is, a gazillion dollars, right? It's a normal, he's selling normal homes. I said, in order for you to do that, you've got to sell a boatload of homes. I mean, that is incredible discipline. I said, can you tell me, where did you get that? And he said, listen, if the Marine Corps taught me one thing, was that they built warriors. And everybody thinks that a warrior is here. He goes, but where they start is here. See, they take the young man and they put them through hell, physically through hell. And they prove to them that they are capable, that they are strong, that they can do more than they even thought was possible. See, their leaders push them and grind on them. And, we've seen every movie under the drill sergeant, right? But what they're really doing is, yes, they're making them strong. And yes, they're showing them that they're strong enough to be battle ready. But what they're really doing is they're changing their minds. They're showing them that they are more capable than they thought. It's exactly what I want to talk to you about today. Your mindset is right around the corner from how you're showing up physically. If you want to change the way you show up in any area of your life, I promise you, if you will get your butt into the gym and you will lift heavy things and you will push yourself in ways that you don't want to, that motivated people won't do for a long period of time. Because what do motivated people do on January 1st?
Join the gym.
Yeah. Yes, they do. By the way, I was in the health club business, right? The single biggest week of my year was January 1st to January 7th. Why? Because everybody has a New Year's resolution. We would sign everybody up for 12-month contract, and they would show up for 23 days. That's what motivated people do. That's not what committed people do. I want you all to be committed. I want you to understand that it's easier to act your way into a new way of thinking than it is for you to think your way into a new way of acting. Let me give you some context, right? If I get my ass to the gym every morning, even when I don't want to, it's a little win, right? I think there was a pretty famous graduation speech by a military guy, probably an admiral or something, that was titled "Make Your Bed."
Mhm.
Okay, do you remember? Anybody know that one? That was
Yep.
awesome,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
the whole premise of that is make your bed. If you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is you make your bed, guess what? You just won. You just won.
Mm. Mhm.
Casey, are you talking about the? Casey, why don't you unmute yourself and ask me what it is that you want me to repeat? Happy to do it.
Easier to act your way into thinking.
Yes. Okay. So it's easier to act your way into a new way of thinking than it is to think your way into a new way of acting.
Thank you.
And again, that's kind of what the military is doing to our young men and women today, isn't it? They're saying, hey, listen, we're going to put you through a physical battle. It's one of the reasons that we talk about, hey, listen, if you want to build a great team, go suffer together. Get in the trenches together. Go through some physical pain together. And the bond is incredible. We all just got back from Atlanta. There was a small group, a much smaller group than I would have liked, a small group that met at the gym at 6 o'clock in the morning. Thank you, Jimmy, for leading.
Mhm.
And we have a different relationship as a result of one workout. How you show up physically will completely change your life. I don't know how to say it any way other than that. If there's something about the act that changes your mindset, period, end of story.
Mm.
The other action that I want to talk to you about is this idea that we go about our lives doing what we need to do in order to have the life we have. And this may be easier for you to see from a W-2 perspective. So from those of you that are paid staff, like maybe this will land a little bit easier for you, but this applies to every single one of us. Okay. Most of the population, at least according to Brian Tracy, 95%, go about life doing their jobs. I do my job. And then wondering, well, why didn't I make more money? Why am I not getting ahead? Why am I not a millionaire? Well, the reason is pretty simple. Doing your job is not enough. See, doing your job pays your bills. Doing your job doesn't get you ahead. Do you follow what I'm saying here? I'm just speaking truth. If you want to get ahead, it's going to cost you. Does everybody agree that if you have a dream, if you have a goal, it's going to cost you something? Do you everybody agree that you have to pay for it? Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Thank
Yeah.
you. So your cost is more. If you want more, you're going to have to do more. I think it was Zig Ziglar that said that, wasn't it? So if you're wondering why you haven't achieved more, ask yourself, what am I not doing? Am I being one of the 95% or am I being one of the 5%? Am I investing in myself? Am I taking action in something? There's a trust associated with it. Okay. It's the same thing with nutrition or fitness or, hey, I'll tell you a story. My wife wanted to leave me. This was a number of years ago, but she wanted to leave me. She had every right to leave me. I didn't do anything bad. Right. I was just a bad husband. Like I was honest and all that stuff. Hold on. Let me back up. I was a good dude, right? I just was working my ass off and I was not there for her or the kids. Okay. And she wanted to leave me. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. No, that's not how we're doing this. That's not how this story ends. And so I changed. But guess what happened? Do you think she believed me? Hell no, she didn't believe me. All of a sudden I'm doing date night. She's like, well, this will end. All of a sudden I'm home for dinner. Well, this will end. This won't last. It took weeks and weeks and weeks of me doing the shit that I said I was going to do. Not motivated, committed. See, I was committed to my marriage. I had to take the action, hoping to God that it was going to come through. And thank you, Jesus, it did. It's actions. Okay, let's talk about mindset for a second. Committed versus motivated. Folks, the saying is, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. Hey, everybody wants to get, hey, I love this one, right? I love this. I asked this of somebody the other day. How many of you like absolutely want $20 million?
Yeah.
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 So I had somebody the other day tell me, no. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. You don't want $20 million. They said, no, I'm not motivated by money. And I'm like, oh my God, hold on one second. You're telling me that if I walked up to you right now and I gave you $20 million, you would tell me no. Well, no, I would take it. Oh, what you don't want is what you perceive it would cost you to earn the $20 million. Follow me here. Okay. There are people amongst you who are worth $20 million, and yet they're still married. They still have great relationships with their kids. They still live an incredible life. They still have their health and vitality. You following what I'm saying here? We all have the same 1,440 minutes. The difference is what we're committed to doing with those 1,440 minutes. There was a survey recently done it was staff, but nonetheless it was management actually, that said that managers self-confessed that more than half of their time was spent in unrelated business activities while at work. Shit. Well, what the hell are you doing for half of your time? Well, I'll tell you what you're doing. It's all the stuff. It just all adds up, right? It just adds up. It does it to all of us. We're just not honest with ourselves. In order to achieve what you have not yet achieved, you have to think what you have not yet thought. Y'all, some of you aren't buying what you're selling. You're telling a story that you don't believe. I had a conversation with one of our agents or one of our staff the other day, and I said, hey, listen, you're never going to hear me talk to you about shit that I haven't done. And the reason for that is because I'm very, very passionate about this nonsense that exists in our world today, where you can't swing a cat without hitting some kind of a guru, coach, mentor, blah, blah, that's selling you on how to do something that they've never achieved before. I think it's immoral. And I'm so passionate about it. I say, hey, I won't teach you how to eat properly, because I have a coach for that. I'll introduce you to her. You're welcome to talk to her, but it's not my space. Now, listen, I'm looking good. I like what I'm seeing in the mirror. I haven't gotten to my final destination, but I can't teach you. I can teach you the mindset that took for me to go, this is not the way I want to look in the mirror. I can teach you how to build a business. I can teach you how to sell real estate. I can teach you how to save your marriage. I can teach you how to build an incredible relationship with your kids. I can teach you how to be a leader. I can teach you how to build and scale a company, but I can't teach you what I can't teach you. Now, wait a minute. It sounds like I'm buying what I'm selling. Anybody? There's a great story Zig Ziglar tells a story. Anybody know who these people are? I mean, like I might be dating myself, but I actually had a cassette tape, and I think Zig was my second guy that I ever listened to from a training perspective. I think Brian Tracy was number one, or maybe it was Jim Rome. Anyway, doesn't matter. I had a cassette tape in my Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme as I was driving through, God knows where, listening to Zig. And he has this conversation with one of his salespeople. And one of his salespeople is saying, hey, listen, I'm having a hard time. He goes, I can't get anybody to buy. I get them right there. I get them right up to the deal. And they always have a reason why they can't pull the trigger right now. And he goes, I just don't know what to do. He said, so Zig asked him, he goes, well, what are some of the excuses or reasons? He said, well, little Johnny's got a new pair of shoes, and little Sally's got to go to dance class, or, they got to do this or that at the house or whatever. Like there's all these different excuses. We know them all. And so Zig asked him, he says, well, have you told them the impact that I think they were selling pots and pans. Have you told them the impact that having those pots and pans has had on your family? Have you told them about the health benefits or the joy? And of course, this is super, super sexist, but this is back in the day, right? The joy that your wife has, the smile, can you just see it in a commercial, right? There she is, all barefoot, pregnant, and smiling while she's cooking dinner. But anyway, don't get caught up on that. And the taste, the food is so much better, and the time that you have, with the kids at the dinner table, and like all of these things. And the salesman says, well, no, Zig, actually, we don't have the pots and pans. And he says, well, what do you mean? How can you sell something that you don't have, that you don't know? And he said, you have to go, the very first thing, you have to go. And he said, but Zig, you don't understand. My son needs some shoes, and my daughter has got dance class, and we've got to replace the carpet. Oh. Zig said, right this second, you got to get your ass out there. He doesn't say ass. He doesn't cuss. He's a much better guy than I am. He said, right this second, you've got to go out there. You got to buy those pots and pans. You got to do it right now. So the guy goes out and he buys the pots and pans, and Zig catches up with him about a month later. And he says, hey, I'm looking at the numbers. He goes, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen. You've never sold this much. Like, you're the number one salesperson in the entire company. He goes, what happened? He said, well, Zig, I went out and I bought those pots and pans. And I watched how happy it made my wife. And boy, I got to tell you, the food was amazing. It tasted so good. And we gathered around the kitchen as a family, and the time that we spent together was just completely altered the dynamic in our family. And I couldn't not tell everybody that had an excuse. It's different. Are you buying what you're selling? See, I can't go out there and tell you the importance of being healthy and going to the gym if I'm not being healthy and going to the gym. I can't go out there and tell you how to build a $3 billion business or a $10 million business, much less, if I'm not out there doing the same thing. Your leaders are pushed every day to be better. I challenge them and push them every day to do the things that we know you have to do. Just ask them, okay? Just pull them aside and say, does this guy, is he really this hard on you guys? They'll tell you. Did you make your calls? How many did you make? Did you make your appointments? How many did you make? Did you go on your appointments? Did you follow the proven process? Did you go to the gym? Are you going on date night? How are you treating the people around you? How are you treating yourself? These are the conversations that we have as a leadership team, because each and every one of our leaders needs to buy what they're selling. Do you? Okay, I'll leave it there. All right, so here's the part. I have no idea what time it is.
10:50.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'll be 5 minutes. Listen, if you go to your business planning, you'll see the table. The table, as we all know, you can't have a good meal at a table that three of the legs are or one of the legs is a different size. Okay, so you can fill this out. Top left is fate. To the right is family. Bottom left is fitness, and bottom right is finance. These are the core foundations of your life. It's everything. The trick is to be honest. Remember what he said. Life starts at truth. Scale of 1 to 10. Your faith. Your faith is your core values, your belief system. It could be your God. I don't care. But you have to have something that's your North Star. It's got to be your compass. How are you? 1 to 10. Where do you land? Let me hear it. I want to hear it. Unmute yourselves. Let's go.
10.
8.
Thank you. That's awesome. I love it.
8.
Let's
6.
go. Okay, 6. I love it. There's some area of improvement. Thank you for your honesty.
8.
Carrie says 8.
7.
All right. Bam,
7.
bam, bam. Write them down.
What if it wavers?
That means you got trouble, dude.
Yeah,
I
need
don't
a
know who said that. Oh my God, not the waverer. All right, so now let's go to family. Listen. Does your wife look at you and go, I love that dude? Does your husband pursue you and go, holy shit, I'm the luckiest guy on the planet? How do you feel that way about yours? Again, this is extreme ownership, y'all. I will speak truth on this one, boy.
Mm.
Do your kids think you're their hero? By the way, you can't determine whether or not they think you're the hero. That's their job. One to 10. What is it? You all deserve it all. In fact, your community deserves it all. Your family deserves it all. You deserve it all. You can have it all. In fact, you can't have all of it if you don't have each and every one of them. The saying is, if you don't birdie the first hole, you can't birdie them all.
9.
That was for you, Jeff. Let's hear it. How are your relationships?
7.
Hey, listen, if you don't have a boyfriend,
8.
girlfriend, husband, wife, kids, whatever, I want to hear about your parents. Are you a good son or a daughter? Ooh,
9.5.
I'm
9.5. I love that. Let's go. Let's go. I love it.
Sometimes I think I get undeserved praise.
It's extreme ownership. That's in the good side and the bad side. So own it. Okay. Now do the same thing on your fitness. That one's painful. That one is so painful. Y'all,
3.
it is so crazy. I mean, listen, your health and vitality is so wild because we have just been programmed over generations that it's just okay. And it's not okay. What we're putting in our bodies, it's either good, it's either medicine, or it's poison. That's it. I think the saying is you can eat for fun or you can eat for fuel. You choose. One's good, one's not.
7.
7. Nice work.
9.
Let's go.
Shannon says 10.
5.8.
Carrie says 4.
How about your finances? Last one, your finances. Where are you? How is your business? Are you saving money? Do you have passive income? I had a conversation with one of our agents. I won't use her name, but we were talking. She goes, you know what? You've been saying for several years, hey, store your acorns. The market's going to change. She goes, I am so happy I stored my acorns. I am not stressed out. The market has shifted and my business is off, but it's okay. I'm actually really good. In fact, I've taken this opportunity to travel more, and I'm working on my business, and I'm all these things. Isn't that amazing? Where are you at? Where's your finances? Are you set where you need to be set?
Mhm.
Okay, now you've done all the exercise.
And Carmen.
Where's the low one? Where are you missing the mark?
There are several.
Where's the worst one? Find the worst. Okay. Listen, your worst is you can never outrun a bad diet. Have you heard this? Right?
Mhm.
Okay. So, same thing in this deal. You have 4 legs of a table. You could have one leg that's like 10 feet tall. Good for you. If one of them is 5 feet tall, you have a problem with your meal. Your meal's your life. Your meal is your life. The experience that you have at that meal, do you want a fine dining, incredible experience? Do you want one that creates incredible memories? Or do you want your memory to be that like shit kept falling off your table?
Okay, so they'll just do that when they're over there.
You've got to rise them all, because you can't outrun a bad diet where you can't outrun a bad marriage. Okay. You can't outwork yourself into a great life if your marriage sucks. If your health and vitality is off, you're done, folks. Just ask my dad.
Mhm.
You've got to elevate them all. But here's the good news. The good news is we've all been programmed with all of this nonsense that says, hey, you can't have it all. Bullshit. You can absolutely have it all. And we get to write the script. It's ours. We get to make a choice every single day. Now, here's the hard part. The hard part is normal fails. Brian Tracy talked about it, right? Hey, listen, if you want to be normal, if you want to be average, you won't make $1 million, or you won't it won't be worth $1 million or more. Well, that means you got to do only what 5% of the population is willing to do. We know that in a real estate business, 87% of the agents fail, right? To be an average agent that makes it, which is only 13%, they only made $48,000 last year, by the way. So you probably need to be in the top 5% or better, right? Okay. Well, we talked about Brendan Burchard. He's saying that it's 1%. So what we have to do is we have to be willing to be committed to doing the things that only the top 5% of the population is willing to do. Is that you? You're a grown-ass adult. You get to decide. It's extreme ownership. Are you going to invest in yourself? Are you going to be coachable? Are you going to listen to people that have done it before that can help you compress time, remove some of the pain, not all of the pain? You got to pay the price to help you get to the place where you need to get.
Generally with this one, it'll be in the morning, either between 9 and 11.
Hey, one of you all is multitasking. I can hear you. Don't you dare multitask. I needed you. I needed you right here. Committed, focused. I did the math. Did you know that if you looked at the BMI index and the average person from a physical perspective, that to be considered in great shape, it's the top 2% of the population? Is this strange that all of these things, whether we're talking about finances, whether we're talking about careers, whether we're talking about marriages, whether we're talking about families, whether we're talking about health and vitality, that they all seem to live in the top 5% of our population? Shouldn't that tell us everything we ever needed to know? That our measurement should be, hey, am I acting like one of the 95%? Or am I acting like one of the 5%? Be careful with who you're comparing yourself to. That's why you hear all these people that say, hey, listen, who you hang out with matters, right? If you want a great beard, you hang out with Gary. We all know that. Who you hang out with matters. That means that who you don't hang out with probably matters more, right? All right, I know I'm running. I'm officially out of time now. Oh, I'm official. All right, listen. I'm going to leave you with this.
Hmm.
The next 3 sessions are going to be way better than this one. This one is all about. I don't want you motivated. I want you committed. This whole motivation BS, get rid of it. Get it out of your vocabulary right now. I want you committed. I only want you showing up if you're committed to changing your life. I only want you to show up if you're committed to doing better than you've ever done before. 2024 should not be status quo. 2024 should be your best year ever. And I don't care what the market's doing. In fact, I might say this. You can see it on this call right here. I started the whole thing off by saying, hey, listen, don't get distracted. Don't multitask. Don't do those things. Take notes. Make sure, because listen, we all know what you write, you retain. And in our world, we write it, we read it, we role play it, and then we teach it. That's how you become an expert. I'll say that again. You write it, you read it, you role play it, and you teach it. And there were people on this call even that were distracted. They were doing other stuff. That's your competition. And I want you to look at that and I want you to say, hell yes. I'm committed to being the top 5%. I'm going to do everything that the top 5% do. And one of the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and I'm going to talk to and listen to and be coachable by those people that have achieved it before. Kenan is a proven entity on schedules. He can teach you. You have to be willing to listen. You have to be willing to take action. Your action will determine your mindset. Your mindset will determine your results. Jimmy knows how to generate some leads. That guy knows his lead funnels like nobody's business. He's a proven entity. He's done it. If you'll listen to him, if you allow yourself to be coachable and you'll commit to doing the work, 2024 will be your best year you've ever had in your life. And Bill Pipes, don't even get me started with Bill Pipes. That guy has trained some of the top coaches and keynote speakers and agents in the world. He was known in the Tom Ferry organization as the guy who, if you needed to be over $1 million in gross commission income, that was your coach, period. He's going to come and talk to you personally. If you will listen to him and you will do some of the shit that he tells you to do, if you will study it, if you will follow him, I'm telling you, 2024 will be the best year you've ever had. But you have to be committed. Hey, thank you. I'm sorry for going a little long. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for allowing me to drop some F-bombs. I hope you got through the words and you got to the message. And as always, what do we say? Be distinctive.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Todd.
I'm
Thanks,
gonna
Todd.
hang out here. If any